Hello, everyone. My name is Dominique Gibson, and I decided to do yet another video. I think you really like this one. This one's kind of a fascinating video that I recently discovered on YouTube from this. Um, she used to be an editor at one of the big five publishing houses, and she has quite a bit of history when it comes to the traditional publishing field. So I decided to do this video today because it was about a couple of weeks ago that I officially decided that after thinking long and hard about where the traditional publishing industry is going, and after reviewing some YouTube videos on where traditional publishing is now versus where it was back in 2009, 2008, I officially decided that traditional publishing is no longer for me anymore, and that self-publishing is the way to go when it comes to my situation. And the reason being is because like I previously stated, I looked at least two YouTube videos that talked about traditional publishing and all the downsides that is going on, not only in the traditional publishing when it comes to books, but traditional publishing in general when it comes to the editors and the delays when it comes down to the literary agents and the editors at the publishing houses. So I found out some very intriguing information about traditional what's going on in traditional publishing right now within the last past 3 weeks, I want to say. And I have to admit it's not good. And I was one of those authors who a long time ago dreamed of having a traditional publishing book deal, but it did not work out for me the way that I wanted it to. And I remember those times where I got really upset because before this happened, before I decided to self-publish, I really wanted a traditional publishing deal because I thought that was like the only way for me to actually get my books published and for people to finally know who I am and, you know, finally get a chance to get to know my stories and see if they like them, hate them, whatever. But at least my stories were out there for people to look at. But now that self-publishing has come into the fold, and now that I am the self-published author of the books that I have so far, An Orman's Revenge, An Orman's Fate, and An Orman's Allegiance, and the book that I'm currently working on, which is this book right here, Courtney's Redemption, which is technically supposed to be a novella, but I'll get back to you on that. This might be a full-fledged novel because I'm working on it right now. As you can see, I can give it to you. See, I'm working on it right now. Handwritten, but it'll be typed up really soon. But what was I saying? Well, I said I left off when I said I no longer want to be in traditional publishing. I am now a self-published author of the Tucson SET series, and I want to continue that way. And there's a couple of reasons why. I won't get into the drastic details of it because I really want you to actually listen to this video for aspiring writers who are thinking about going the traditional publishing route. Again, I just really want you to take an opportunity in order to listen to the actual video that I have actually watched like about 2 weeks ago when it came out. And it was pretty eye-opening. And I'm doing this video for aspiring writers who want to go the traditional publishing path. I say more power to you, but I just really want aspiring writers to know what they're getting themselves into before they actually think about doing a traditional publishing route. If they still want to do it after watching the video, then that's fine. It's totally up to you. I applaud you for it. Um, you have all the patience in the world. If you want to continue to go this route, hey, that's good. I also want to do this video for hybrid publishers as well, because it'll really determine whether they still want to go hybrid or if they want to go one way or the other. And again, it's totally fine. I just want people to be aware of what's really going on and for them to just sit back and think about it before they actually make the jump, make the choice in order to make the jump when it comes to these kind of situations, whether it's either traditional publishing or even self-publishing. Not everybody wants to be a self-published author, and that's okay. Not everybody wants to be a traditionally published author. That's okay. And not everybody wants to be a hybrid author either. That's okay. Or even work with a hybrid publisher. That's okay too. Everything is basically all up to you and what you guys want to do. And if you're happy with what you're doing, with what you want to do, then by all means do it. This is just me providing that information for all of you guys to just look at and think about and like, share, or whatever. Before I move any further, if you really like this video or if you like any of my other videos, please feel free to hit the subscribe button down below, and I'll be sure to add more videos as time goes on. I'm probably going to try to post videos every week. I did not do a video last week because I was in a lot of pain within the past couple of days. So I wasn't able to do much of anything. And I've had a hospital visit. I had to go to the hospital and everything, but I'm okay. It's getting better. My temporary medical condition, I'll just say that because I don't know exactly what happened, it's getting better. Until I find out more information about it, I'll be sure to let you guys in on it. But right now, I don't want to dwell on it because I don't know. First of all, I don't know what is going on. I don't know exactly what it is. And secondly, I still need to investigate it. So, okay, so on to the part one of this video of why I'm saying no to traditional publishing. So I recently came across a video by a woman named Alyssa Malstenik. I'm probably pronouncing her last name wrong, and I do apologize if I am. But just FYI, I have been watching her videos. Some of my videos are actually saved on my playlist, and I've been watching her videos for a little while now. She actually used to be, as I previously stated, an editor at one of the big five, and she also has some other credits that she mentioned. But if you look at the video, she'll go more into detail about it. I kind of don't want to dwell too much on the video because I kind of want you to see it for yourself. But anyway, I took some notes on it because I looked at the video the other day, and it was titled, "What the Heck is Going On in Traditional Publishing?" And it captured my interest because at the time that the video was made, I was really considering doing my book that I'm currently working on, Weslow Heights, which is the exact opposite of what I'm working on in the Tucson SET series. I was really considering going a traditional publishing route with that book. And I'm in the first draft now. And I was really excited about it because I was like, okay, if I go the traditional publishing route, I can still be a self-published author and I can be a hybrid author at the same time. And, I got really excited about it. But in the midst of it, I found out some information about publishing and what was going on. So it said, she starts off with the video on March 11th. So there was junior to mid-level editors at our big 5 publishing houses. If you don't know who they are, they're Penguin Random House, Simon & Schuster, Macmillan, Hachette, and HarperCollins. These editors actually gave out their resignations, right? Okay, so why is that such a big deal? Well, I'm gonna try to explain this to you a little bit further, but long story short, this isn't good for both new and established clients, new authors who actually want to go into the traditional publishing route. This might not be a very good time for you to go into the traditional publishing route right now. And for the established authors who are already with these big 5 publishing houses, that means that they're going to be in trouble, a little bit of trouble as well, because I'll go into it. Let's go into it. So apparently in this video, she talked about whenever an editor leaves a big 5 publishing house, it has a domino effect, because that big level editor who works at that publishing house, if they decide to quit, that means that all the editors that are beneath that top editor are now going to be responsible for all of the book deals and basically all the author deals that the top level editor was responsible for. So that means that they have like twice to maybe 3 times more of the workload of the editors that are underneath this top level editor, right? So, which means that everything is going to be backlogged, right? Because the editors that are under the top level editor, like about here, they already have their own manuscripts to review. They already have all this other stuff in order to review. And now come to find out that the top level editor is now going bye-bye. The editors that were underneath that top level editor has twice the work, 3 times, maybe even 5 times the work of doing their own work, plus what the top level editor work has done, right? So whatever the top level editor didn't do, it's trickling down. So that means that if that's happening at the big 5 publishing houses, everything is backlogged. That means that delays for upcoming books have been affected. That means that aspiring authors who are submitting their manuscripts to literary agents, they're either going to have to wait a little bit longer in order to receive a response from that literary agent, or even if they have a literary agent, they're still going to have to wait longer in order for them to receive some sort of response from that editor in general when it comes to their manuscript, right? So let's say, for instance, we'll take an example. Let's say I decided that I'm in the final stages of Wesel Heights, and I decided that, hey, you know what? I'm going to go submit this to a literary agent. Well, I could submit it to a literary agent, and let's say that literary agent does accept the manuscript itself. Instead of me waiting the average 6 to 12 months in order to hear from that editor that goes back to that literary agent, telling them if it's a yay or nay when it comes to my manuscript, I might have to wait an additional 15, 16 months. Why? Because that top level editor has left. And now the people underneath that top level editor are now having to do all this other work. And then on top of that, my manuscript will probably be way at the bottom of the what? Pile. Slush pile, as they want to call it in the publishing industry. So, not to mention the fact that I wrote the query letter, which probably takes about 1 or 2 months. Well, not really with me. Well, it would if I was a aspiring writer, because I'm learning. Synopsis takes a while, but then the most time consuming part about the publishing process in general is the novel. right? Because you still have to do the first draft. You have to self-edit it, the first draft within yourself. And sometimes I do this within 3 times before I actually submit it to a literary agent. Then you still got to wait like about anywhere from 3 weeks to like about 6 months in order for that literary agent to say yay or nay. And then after that, it's like, we're going to move it down to the editor, right? So now we moved it down to the editor, who, by the way, still has this backload of stuff they have to do. And that editor is going to probably take about 6 to 12 months in order to review your work. In the meantime, you are either rewriting this previous book, this book that you sent to your literary agent, or you are working on something new while you're sitting up there waiting constantly for this editor to say yay or nay on the book. And if they, God forbid, they say nay on the book, you have just wasted 6 to 12 months of trying to write this book in order for it to be traditionally published, only for it to be rejected. Okay? So I don't know if that's probably confusing to you or not. I tried to put this in the simplest of terms, but I'm going to break it down to you even further, because this is exactly what she described in the video a little bit. So I'm going to try to break this down further so that people can understand, truly understand what is going on in the publishing industry. Ready? Okay. So from what I gathered, an entry-level position in the publishing industry, you are called an editorial assistant. So with an editorial assistant, you have administrative work that is outside of what you are supposed to be doing when it comes to your job. So there might be filing papers, there might be writing checks, stuff like that. But on top of that, you still have the editorial part, which is reviewing other people's manuscripts, sending it to other editors within the publishing industry, things like that. So, but here's the part that really got to me, and it got to a point where I said, "No, I don't think I want to do traditional publishing." She said, she actually stated that when you do your editorial work, you have no days off, which means you have to do nights, you have to do weekends, in addition to weekdays. On top of that, the editorial work that you are supposed to be doing as an editorial assistant, you are doing it, but on top of that, you are doing other stuff that does not involve editorial work. So basically, you are doing other people's jobs, administrative work that you're not supposed to be doing, versus you doing what you're supposed to be doing, but you do not have no time off in order to actually do it. Crazy as it sounds, right? This sounds similar to a teaching job that I really wanted. It sounds similar to a special ed job. Now, I'm not knocking special ed teachers for what they do. I actually wanted to become one a long time ago, a special ed teacher. But I noticed that I had actually took a special ed class, and I noticed that in one of my classes, they was talking about how hard the administrative work is, whereas you have to fill out IEPs, you have to fill out all this paperwork, and it does not leave you a lot of room in order to actually teach. So to me, this editorial assistant job is similar to what a special ed teacher has to do on a daily basis. It's just the fact that it's two different titles. An editorial assistant, you have to do editorial work for your publishing company, and a teacher, you have to do, your teaching duties on top of administrative work for your job as a special education teacher. Okay, so that was like, oh my God, you don't have no time off. So that means that they're literally burnt out. Like literally just saying, I'm done, I'm burnt out, I can't do any more than what I'm capable of doing. And I'm a huge fan of burnout because of the fact that I'm in a teaching profession, and I know what it's like to be at that point where you're just emotionally and physically exhausted from a job that you thought was going to be a dream job, but it ended up turning out to be something totally different. So I totally understand the whole concept of burnout, even though it's from two different career fields. Burnout is very much real and it's very serious, and people should, especially employers, should really take that seriously, because if they don't take it seriously, look at what happens. I mean, you end up losing employees because of the fact that they're overworked, they're overburning, and they make very little money for it, which is another reason why I said no to traditional publishing. So I took some notes. That's why I'm going through it now. Apparently, the salary for an editor assistant, an assistant editor, and then an associate editor, all of these so-called fancy jobs that they have, the salaries are extremely low. So my rough estimate for this would be, because she says on the video that her pay rate at Random House was $38,000. So my guesstimate range when it comes to being an editor at a publishing house is between 30,000 and maybe 39, possibly $40,000. If I can say it that much. And this very like, oh my God, shocked me. Because if you look up, I know Indeed probably posts this. If you look up the salary when it comes to an infant toddler teacher in a daycare setting, it's between 25 and 35,000, I want to say, give or take, and it depends on your educational level, right? So to me, being an editor at a publishing house is no different than being an infant toddler teacher at a daycare setting when it comes to the salary ranges. This is like, oh my God. So, and the question deepens, it's like, how is it that their salaries are so low when they are the ones that's supposed to be responsible for the major deals when it comes to best-selling authors? I don't know the answer to that. And it's deeply fascinating because I don't know the answer to the, I asked that question when, as soon as I saw this video and I saw the salaries being extremely low. How is it extremely low? You guys, there's been like advertisements, publishers lunch, everything about major deals. So I'm just wondering, there's a discrepancy there. How is it that editors are getting paid so low, but then they're the ones that's responsible for making all these big major deals when it comes to these best-selling authors? Something to ponder. Let me guys out there, let me know what you think about that. Because I don't know. I think there's a discrepancy there. And I think it's something that we really need to talk about when it comes to publishing in general. But and what's even more shocking is the fact that she revealed that some of these employees at the junior and mid-level editors at these publishing houses, majority of them have to live at home because they don't even have enough money in order to rent an apartment in New York City. And I know New York City is very expensive, so I'm not knocking it, but it's like, at the same time, I feel really bad for them because they can't even rent an apartment in New York City, to a point they have to live at home. Wow, really? And then I said, yeah, so low burnout, that means that if these editors are leaving these publishing houses left and right, and apparently it's been something that's been going on even before the pandemic happened, but the pandemic just, it's like an explosion. So that means that they have fewer editors in order to read new work from aspiring authors, which is tragic because it's like we're already waiting like about months, 6 to 12 months in order for a response. Now we gotta wait longer than that in order to get a response back. I don't know about that. That's that's just seems kind of eh. I don't know about that. I'm the kind of person, I am a very patient person, but my patience gets a little thin when it comes to waiting for so long for excuse me, sorry, for an answer based upon my work that I've worked so hard on 6 months to maybe a year trying to write and rewrite this book in order for me to wait another 6 to 12 months in order to get the results of the yay or nay if they really want it or not. Yeah, and then I have to wait longer because of this issue. It's not good. It's not good at all. Like I said, I'm a very patient person, but my patience would be wearing very thin if I had to wait longer than 12 months in order to find out about my manuscript. Mm-mm. It's not realistic to me. And so there might be, and then towards the end of the video, she was talking about how literate agents might become very weary of accepting new clients for manuscripts because they are even aware of what's going on in the publishing industry, and they know that they're going to get backlogged. So literary agents are just like, you know what, maybe we should close our doors in support of the editors so that they can get an opportunity to get their stuff together and find another editor at these publishing houses in order to, get some stuff straight. So we won't accept any new clients at this time. You just closed the door on aspiring authors who wants to submit their manuscript, but they can't because of what's happening in the publishing houses, which has an domino effect when it comes to literary agencies. You just shut the door. And it's like, really? And for established authors, it's hard on them too, because let's say, for instance, they might have a book scheduled to come out this month, maybe like even Easter Sunday, and come to find out they're not going to be able to get their books published on that particular day or even within that particular month because of what the domino effect of what happened at the publishing houses. Wow. Talk about a lot. That's something to, well, for me, and this is my opinion, that's something for me to think about. So I'm just like, okay, maybe I should just continue to do what I'm doing. At least with self-publishing, I'm able to publish at a faster rate than traditional publishing. I mean, I have the first draft, well, technically the second draft of Courtney's Redemption right now. And I know that after the third draft, all I need to do is just submit it to my editor and a few beta readers. And then when I feel as if it's ready to go, it's ready to go. It's good and ready to go. I don't have to wait 6 to 12 months in order for it to be published. Be published sooner than that. I mean, I can publish it in 6 months. I can publish it in 3 months if I really want to. But leaving it in somebody else's hands right now, not a good idea to me. I'm sorry. And then she tried to look at the upside of it. There were some things that was frankly her opinion on in the video. So I'm not gonna say that all of this stuff is like golden, like it's like written in gold or whatever, written in stone. But some of what she said just really resonated with me to a point where I'm just like, I think I want to say no and just walk away from traditional publishing. She tried to be positive and say that this gives authors more of an opportunity in order for them to polish their work and get it absolutely ready for publication once everything settles down. And it's actually really good advice because you can never really be too sure about if your manuscript is really ready or not. So it does give you an opportunity to take a second look at it. But at the same time, it's like, why would I want to well, I could take a second look at it. It's great, but at the same time, I probably might be in a position where I want to do something else and not do the same book over and over again. Rewrite it, at least, same over and over again. I might be wanting to move on to something else. And that would just literally drive me crazy. Because if I edit it to a point where I think it's finished, I think it's done, then literary agent tells me, yeah, you know what, let's work on this some more while the editor is at the big five, try to figure out what to do. I don't think I'll be too happy about that. But I mean, I'll do it, but it's just more waiting. So, and towards the end of the video, she made a opinion about basically a warning about literary agents not being open to new clients at this time. And I gotta admit, the $38,000 that she made at the Big Five and the editors leaving the Big Five house, it just confirmed the fact that I'm just not. I think I'm done with traditional publishing. I'm not gonna go back to it. It doesn't make sense to go back to it anymore. It's just literally falling apart. And I think that self-publishing is just a really good deal. I'm in control of publishing my own books. I'm in control of what I do with those books, whether it be selling the foreign markets, whether I do audiobooks, things like that. I can publish my book whenever I want to. There's a lot of stuff that I can do in self-publishing that I don't really think I can really do with traditional publishing. I was going to go hybrid. I thought about not going hybrid anymore after this. So that's just a little bit of my rant. I think I've given you some reasons as to why I decided that I do not want to go the traditional publishing route anymore, that I'm just going to continue to go self-publish all the way. If you are interested in learning more about this video, it is called What the Heck is Going On in Publishing? And I will be sure to link it in the description box down below. And I'm about to end this video. This is part 1 of why I'm saying no to traditional publishing. There will be a part 2 to this as well, because there's another author. This time, there's another author, even though Alyssa was not really technically an author. There's an author who actually went on YouTube and described why she decided that she doesn't want to go the traditional publishing route. And I think that those reasons that she stated are pretty valid. So I'm going to publish part 2 of that, and I'm going to actually reveal the information about who said what about them not going the traditional publishing route. And then I'll probably link it down in the description box below on that as well. But this is just part 1. And I think I did enough of explaining for me to actually decide what I'm going to do next. And this is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you soon. Bye.